Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice for Radio. So today, we're going to be taking a little bit of a look at a new special energy card. I say new special energy card. It's not really a new special energy card. You see, ladies and gentlemen, it is a reprint of Recycle Energy. Now, the thing is, we haven't had Recycle Energy for a very, very long time. To put it in context, the last time we had this was Neo Genesis, which came out in December 2000. This is going to be coming out in our August set, Unified Minds, which is August 2019, which means it has been 19 years. Just under, to get a reprint of Recycle Energy. I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but that seems like a fairly steep wait to me. What does Recycle Energy do? Well, it reads, Recycle Energy provides one colourless energy. If this card is put into your discard pile from play, return it to your hand. So it's a special energy card that provides colourless energy, but it bounces back to your hand. And it's always a little bit weird when we have an energy which is just, hey, it's a colourless energy. But it's not like we've never seen this before. Rescue Energy was just a colourless energy, but when the Pokemon that it was attached to got KO'd, you could get that Pokemon right back using the Rescue Energy. And, we had Plasma Energy. Plasma Energy was really weird, because Plasma Energy was just one colourless energy, and it didn't actually do anything else. But there were things like Colress Machine, which could accelerate it from the deck. And we had, like, Lugia EX, which could only attack if you discarded a Plasma Energy. And then Tornadus EX, which did more damage depending on the amount of plasma energy you actually had attached to it. So it's not like this is the first time this has ever happened, but it's kind of weird. And like I say, getting it back after so long is strange. So the first thing to note here, and this might seem obvious, but bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, it's colourless energy. And I know that sounds super obvious, but it really does bear talking about. This is colourless energy, which means that if you're using it to pay the cost of, I don't know, let's say something like Normalium Z that we looked at yesterday, this is fine. This is good. We are totally okay with this. But you're not going to be able to pay anything more awkward with this. It's colourless energy. It's not for every Pokemon. If you want awkward energy costs, we've got Rainbow Energy, we've got Unit Energy, things of that nature. This is not for every Pokemon, it is only for Pokemon that use colourless energy. But then again, there's a million Pokemon out there, like, let's look at the new Garchomp that I'm particularly excited about. That attacks for just a fighting and a colourless energy. Now, we'll get to it in a minute, there's a reason I chose Garchomp. So it's not like it's for no Pokemon whatsoever, but it's largely for colourless Pokemon. Things like Silvally GX, for instance. But it's also for Pokemon that can use colourless energy. Now, my Garchomp example here is not just completely out of the blue. You see, we're using this in situations where we are wanting or expecting our energy to be discarded. So if we have a look at Garchomp, Garchomp's got an attack for one fighting, one colourless energy. 80 damage. You may discard an energy from this Pokemon. If you do, this attack does 40 more damage. So it does 120 if you discard an energy. Now, the other thing is that Garchomp's got an ability whereby if you're behind on prizes, you do an extra 80 damage. And also, Garchomp is going to be wanting to use Fighting Stadium, or Fighting Dojo, which does an extra 40 if you've got basic fighting energy attached while you're behind on prizes. And you've got Black Belt, which reduces the attack cost by one fighting energy if you're behind on prizes. Now, the one thing I need to point out here, if you just use Black Belt and Recycle Energy, you won't be getting the extra damage with Fighting Dojo. But the thing is, with Fighting Dojo and Diancie Prism Star, you're hitting 260. You won't always need to be hitting 260 a lot of the time. Only doing 220 will be just fine. So here, you could use it with Garchomp either without using Black Belt, or using Black Belt if you're willing to turn down Fighting Stadium or Fighting Dojo for not having a basic energy attached, a basic fighting attached. And that's the kind of thing this does beautifully. If you can work this in Garchomp, you have to discard an energy, but it goes back to your hand. You have to discard an energy, but it goes back to your hand. You have to discard an energy, but it goes back to your hand. And essentially here, if you can get away with Garchomp only doing 220, you never have to wait for an energy ever. You've always got that energy in your hand, which is crazy. Unless I suppose you're not behind on prizes and Black Belt runs out. Now look, when it goes back to your hand, there are things your opponent can do. They can play Judge or Marshadow, and we know that most people are playing at least one Marshadow at the moment for that turn 1 let loose. And if they do, they do. Not much we can do about it. But it's still in your deck. You can still get it back. Yeah, they can disrupt you and get rid of it, but you can find it again. It's not exactly the most difficult thing ever. The other thing is, we've got a whole bunch of stuff around at the moment, like Enhanced Hammer, or indeed like Kartana, or indeed the new upcoming Giratina, which will be in the same set, all of which discard special energy. Giratina only from the active. So if your opponent is discarding special energy, that's a little bit of a pain. But if it's recycle energy, it really doesn't matter. It goes straight back to your hand and you can attach it again next turn. The one thing I do need to warn you about here is Faber. Faber does not discard the energy. Faber puts it in the lost zone. And when it's put in the lost zone, it's not discarded, which means you won't be able to get it back. Faber will remove this. How much play is Faber seeing at the moment? Almost none. So I don't think it's a huge issue, but it does just bear repeating. It does bear putting in mind that Faber will get rid of this, and that will be a pain. But at this stage, I got to mention my boy Porygon Z. Porygon Z has already seen some play and success over in Japan by combining it with 7 different Tag Team GXs and winning. I'll pop a link to that video in the description. Porygon Z lets you attach as many special energy during your turn as you like. As often as you like during your turn, you can just chuck a special energy down and you're good to go. So do it. Chuck that special energy down. Attach 4 of these, and then when they get discarded, they go straight back to your hand. And here's the thing, right? I've been talking about Enhanced Hammer and all of that, but these get discarded when a Pokemon gets KO'd. So when your Pokemon would be KO'd, it's not, well, I mean, the Pokemon's KO'd, but you don't lose any energy. Imagine using this with something like an Eevee and Snorlax Tag Team GX. Well, Eevee and Snorlax Tag Team GX takes colourless energy, and it never needs more than 4 unless you're using a GX attack with the extra effect, but then you only need 1 more energy 1 turn. So you just attach all of these with Porygon Z, and then when it gets KO'd, you get all the energy back, but it's actually better than that. Because Max Potion. You use Max Potion here, and Max Potion completely heals a Pokemon. What's the downside of completely healing the Pokemon? You've got to discard all the energy. But now the energy goes back to your hand, and you can reattach it next turn using Porygon Z. Although here, if your opponent drops a Marshadow, it will be awkward because you will need to find all 4 of those energy, and that can be a little bit of a pain. But my point is, this opens up so many options. Whether it's using Max Potion, whether it's just not caring that your opponent's playing a bunch of Enhanced Hammer, whether it's using attacks that discard energy so that you can just get them right back again. It really doesn't matter because Recycle Energy's got your back. No, it's not providing anything but colourless energy, so that does in some ways limit the usefulness, but make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, there are a whole heap of decks that are going to absolutely adore this card. Although I do just need to stop for a second, because the press release, as we reported on from Total Cards, it said 2 new special energy cards were coming in our next set. Well, this is coming in our next set. So my question, and I do not have an answer, are we actually getting 2 new special energy cards? Or are we getting 1 new special energy card, and this, which is not new, it's just a reprint 19 years in the making, which I suppose you could call new, but it's not. I'm going to give this 4 Wassies. And I think this might be a little bit mean to the card. I think this is a phenomenal card. I think this is a really, really good card, which is not going to see play in every deck because it can't, but is going to see an awful lot of play in an awful lot of decks because it's an awful lot of good. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is a really good card, but I would very much like to know what you think about this. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! But please do remember the rule, ladies and gentlemen. Be nice, would you? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about games that don't have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.